TGIF, guys. So it's Friday. Cheers. You might be asking yourself, well, I got the wheels there. They're sold. We're getting back about 80% about what I spent on them after a season of use, so I call that good. Always expect a little bit of a loss on used parts. At this point, somebody was interested on Instagram. I couldn't pass up the opportunity to make some money back. I know I had intended to run these on the Bonneville, but due to the fact that this car has a BOP GM 10 bolt, which has bolted axles, you have to remove them through the axle flange. There's openings in there, and I don't know if I have enough room on the flange to re-drill the axle to go to a 5x4 3/4, which my friend bought the tool and the kit, and he said I can use it. Obviously, we got to get his stuff done first and then after, but in the meantime, I have the Kragers on there still, which I had a deal and that kind of fell through. The guy never got a hold of me. It's still contingent, but between these two sets of wheels and selling them, I was planning on replenishing, getting new wheels. I want to do two 75/60s in the back on a 15x8 and do a 205 75/15 on a 15x5 in the front. So in the meantime, I'm not going to worry about it because ultimately we got wheels on there. It's not a big deal. So aside from that, the hood for the olds is actually in primer. I know I didn't do that episode, but I took it into work to get it done because it drives me nuts to do body work in here and not be able to move a car. And I've been it's at the point where I just need to get it done. So what I decided to do is I primed it. And if you guys really want to see somebody prime something, then there's other videos out there. I showed you guys my repair process, which I think was unique to what I was going to do anyway. But I am going to show you guys how we do the paint on there. And I think I'm going to invite my friend over and we're going to do some filming on the patterning and stuff and what we do and how we do it to show you guys out there. But the hood is in primer. It's just going to get prepped. I asked my boss and he said it was cool. I could have my buddy at work paint it, and we're just going to paint it in the color. No stripes, no nothing. I'm going to take care of everything after sanding down the clear and just scuffing it to paint over it. So anyway, we're going to jump back to Bonneville this week. And the goal is to get the gas tank in, get my fuel lines, my return, my vents, everything set up. Yes, we are still going to modify the neck, but you know what? I'm going to do it afterwards. I want to do this realistically. How many guys at home would do it if the gas tank was already installed. So that's the way I'm going to do it, but I'm going to wait until it's in and after. So besides that, you know, I got some leftover NICOP brake line that I'm going to use for my fuel return, which should be perfect. And then we have one vent line that I'm going to run through a high flow fuel filter looped up into the package tray area since we don't have a charcoal canister. Much like the vent for my fuel cell, I usually just run coiled line up in through like a wheelhouse so it vents outside but not in the car, and the coils prevent fuel spillage out. So the goal this weekend is not only to get the gas tank and the fuel lines in, but I got a aluminum water pump from GMB. It's not a high flow, but the standard flow has always been good, at least for me, up until like the low 12s. Even on my current engine it was good. I just had a leak and decided to just go to the flow cooler, which actually works really, really good. So I went with the GMB aluminum, which is 5.95 inches tall. For you guys out there who may or may not know, there is a various amount of pump length sizes for Oldsmobiles based on years, early, later model, this, that, power steering, AC. It varies. So I measured, I bought the right one. Hopefully it is the right one. And so we're going to get our carburetor back on there. We get all, everything set up. And hopefully have most of our accessory drive on. And I'm probably going to put the core support back on at this point. Obviously no fenders. I haven't done my hinges yet. But once this is done, and the fuel tank is done, absolutely have to do the hinges. I'm going to order rollers this weekend. There is a roller kit. I'm not going to, at this point, I had a hard time with I did call the salvage yard to order the hinges I wanted. How can I explain this? They couldn't confirm that it was going to come from the same car and that they were going to be in the same condition, at least from the one yard I wanted to order from. And I was specific about this yard because it was the closest one And it just, again, I'm ordering parts from a junkyard for a 40-year-old car. Unless I see them, the description is vague, and I just wasn't comfortable doing it. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead, rebuild these hinges. I have the pins. One of these hinges already has new pins, so I only bought 3 pin kits. And so we're going to get all of our power steering hooked up. I'm going to doll that up a little bit after I get the fuel tank in so it looks good. Fuel pump on, fuel lines on, everything back on. Radiator, and I'm going to go to an electric fan setup and wire that in eventually. But the other important thing is I have to get that brake booster off, because at this point I'm going to order a generic drop-in unit that will match this one. It is available from Rock Auto, but with shipping right now, everything is really in the air, and I'm still going to kind of leave that last. At this point, once I get the hinges done, I can get the fenders on, do my wiring. I can get the brake booster and all that stuff done with the fenders and the hood on and all that stuff. So at this point, we're really nearing near the end of this project. It's just I took last week off to do my hood and to kind of get my head wrapped around things, and after a week away from it, I kind of now motivated to get it done. And I still have to move one brake line underneath the car, but when I have the car jacked up to the fuel tank, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I hope you guys are still following along and still enjoying the videos. Lately there's been a lot of variety in things, and unlike some, I've mentioned this before, but man, lately some of the pages I follow have become really clownish during this whole COVID thing, right? And people will just make videos to make videos, and at least I'm trying to give you guys updates on what I got going on, and I'm being honest and showing you what I am doing. And ultimately, all I can show you is what we're doing. We're just like you guys. I'm not this godlike figure or anything. I'm just Joe Blow. I happen to work in a body shop and happen to love working on muscle cars and stuff. So hope you guys are still enjoying the videos. If you guys got suggestions or questions, go ahead and ask away. I can't always say I have the right answer, but if I can't answer it, I'll flat out tell you, hey, I don't. That's unique, man. I don't know. So we'll follow it up hopefully in the next couple of days, and we'll have more work done, and we'll get to the point where we can fire this thing back up and hear it roar back to life with a carburetor. And things should get interesting. Like I said, hood for the Cutlass is going to get painted. It looked badass just driving it to work with no primer or anything on there. So this thing, it's going to look bad once it's all done. So stick around at least for that. All right. And plus, this thing's cool as fuck too. My wife's gonna race it, so you want to see my wife race this shit, Crackdown 14. I mean, it's pretty much a stock 350 with a 342 gear, and I know this thing has a 14 something in it based off last outing. So I don't know. Am I defying the odds, or do you guys think I'm full of shit? You tell me. Stick around, guys. Share, like, subscribe. Let us know what you guys got going on. I'm on Instagram as Copper Cutlass. My Facebook page, I'm really not doing anything with it. It's just not worth it. But you guys can still find me on Facebook and, share stuff and whatever, man. I mean, I like to see other people's work. I got friends, and throughout this, I've learned that I like my friends and projects, and I really miss that. So hopefully with our community, everybody during this time, everybody's making the best time out of it and working on their own stuff and making the best of it. Again, remember, there's no job too small, no accomplishment too small. Just get out there and work on stuff and chip at it. So on that note, we're going to sign off. Have a good one. See you guys around.